tree. This is 20 gems. We have 4 hallowed fountains already, so if we wanted to take that, that is worth 20 gems right out of the gate. And that's up against basically Law Mage's Binding. What's going to be... and this is, again, so for your voting, don't vote for... I don't want to hear about what the best card in the pack is for the most powerful deck. I want to hear what you think the best expected value is for gems on this pick. Whether the straight 20 for the Hallowed Fountain is worth more gems to us, or less gems, fewer gems to us than our expected win improvement by taking a card like Law Mage's Binding, which I think is the clear pick here if we don't rare draft the fountain. So first I'm going to let the votes come in, and then we'll talk about that for a little bit. Hey, Zach. New Brew. Good Time Zone. Goman Edge. Howdy. Peacetime. Hello. Good Time Zone to you. All right. Nobody wants to take the Hallowed Fountain. I think you're all wrong. Especially Pack 1, Pick 1. We have no idea if we're going to be specifically Azorius. This is so specific. Let's say we're 20%. Like, if we follow where we're supposed to be in our seat, we're 20% to be in the guild Azorius, and then we get some, well, not 20%, but because like probably 15% of the time you end up in a straight guild, and then some other percent of the time you're in a multicolored thing. But I would say we're 20-25% to play Law Mage's Binding. Maybe a little higher than that, because we will lean towards those colors if we see them in the next picks. Yeah, we're talking about this right now, whether or not what produces more gems for this account. Taking this pick, which is 20 gems, or taking this pick, which helps improve our deck. And I'm saying, I think in this case, if this were pack 3, pick 1, and we were already Azorius, I think then probably the Binding is up there. But since we don't even know that we're going to actually end up in Azorius, I think Pack 1, Pick 1 is the type of place to lean into the rare drafting if you have the opportunity, because it's the time where your deck, your power pick, is the least likely to make your actual deck. So I'm actually going to take the Hallowed Fountain for the gems. We only have one of these. We could take it and fill out some gems and get some more. Or now we can say, since this isn't a straight 20 gem pick, we have to do some work. Like we need to put 3 wild cards in to get 20 gems out of this pick. So here we could go with a Juggler or the Demise, which, as you see, have nothing. Well, you can play Esper, so it's still, you could do Juggler and Law Mage's Binding in the same deck, but looks like there's support for the Engineer and the Demise. I would prefer one of the monocolored cards here if we're not rare drafting. I'll let go of the rare draft on this one and take a monocolored card, but given that, I kind of want to take the Juggler. But the consensus is Juggler is best black common, narrowly edging out the Demise. Oh, sorry, under my portrait. Well, let me fix that. Let me make it a little easier for you all to see what's going on here. Sorry about that. And I'm going to take the Juggler. Now what have we got? We've got a Scorch Mark, Rhythm of the Wild. It's a pretty strong pick here. We also have a chance to... Oh, I didn't check on commons. Darn it, wish I had. Let's go do that now, though. For those of you unaware, you can... When you see that an uncommon is missing from a pick in Arena, like it is here, you can look up the remaining ones and see what was taken because it's a fixed order. So if we look up Rhythm of the Wild and Clan Guildmage, we see that Bankrupt in Blood and Enraged Ceratok are the cards. Oh, really? Clan Guildmage, Rhythm of the Wild, and Enraged Ceratok are all in a row. That's interesting. So Rhythm of the Wild's a compelling pick, potentially, but it's worth noting that the bot upstream just took a mono green card. Hey, Double D's. So if we take a Rhythm, we have to be aware that we're doing so in the face of a bot heading into that potential territory, whereas we could take a Scorch Mark where they've taken a mono green card but not a green red card. So that would be an option too. Let's see where chat has landed. Chat wants the Blade Brand. I can't bring myself to Blade Brand here. Yeah, I'd rather have like a Guildgate over that or the Scorch Mark. Blade Brand will wheel. We can get that on the wheel. I'm actually going to take the Scorch Mark narrowly over the Rhythm, I think, because we could end up Rakdos. That the Scorch Mark goes with the Juggler a little better. It's pretty narrow. Yeah, we rare drafted pack 1, pick 1, took the Hallowed Fountain. So it looks like there's a little more support for the Rhythm than the Scorch Mark. I like letting the votes come in. It's really interesting. Sorry, you're disappointed, Double D's. I don't know what what you want from this channel, this stream, but I'm here trying to do the most right by the gem count on this account that I possibly can, and I think Rare Drafting did that. Well, there's enough support for Rhythm. We'll go with it. Yeah, I kind of wanted Scorch, but the chat was all about the Rhythm, so we'll feed the Rhythm. Good morning, big ol' PhD. Okay, we got another 2 uncommon spots, so let's see what else is going on upstream. But yeah, I think especially with the bot having taken green upstream, taking Rhythm is a little risky there, but let's see what the Skatewing has going. Oops, wrong place. Skatewing. All right, Skatewing Spy and Resolute Watchdog have the Ceratok and Frilled Mystic around it. So this could be another Ceratok missing, could be a Simic, you know, the Balmy Simic uncommon. Oh, I see, Double D's, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I think actually it's really tough for when you have 4x of the pack 1, pick 1 rare, the bar is pretty high to take something other than that rare, because you just don't even know what colors you're in yet, so you have the least chance of playing your pack 1, pick 1 of any other pick in your draft, a high pick in your draft, so that's kind of the time to rare draft, I think. Yeah, so hopefully the neighbor sitting next to you is in Simic. Yes, it would be nice if this turned out to be a Frilled Mystic upstream. Yeah, we could take Grandma here and not worry about, like, we want to find the open seat. I really do think it's the secret to this format, and it's certainly the secret to these bots that have preferences and stuff. You can take the Skatewing Spy as a powerful card in a vacuum, but again, we see potentially some Simic happening upstream, so this might be a time to use the rare drafting, the uncommon print runs to our advantage and say, okay, we're gonna kind of stay away from Simic. And in that case, the Blade Juggler Imperious Oligarch combo seems nice. So I think I like that play. Where are you guys at? Yeah. It was between these two, and I'm going to go with Grandma. There's a Blade Brand as a simple cycler for the black-white or black-red deck. Essence Capture, not really near the blue right now. Blood Mist Infiltrator will probably wheel. Like it tends to wheel. These both tend to wheel. So this is kind of a disappointing pack for pick 5. I would hope for something better here. There's a chat is looking at the Sphinx. I understand that, you know, Sphinx is a reasonable finisher if we end up in a controlling build of some kind. But since we don't know where we're at yet, I would rather just take the Blade Brand as something that goes in any black deck as a throwaway inclusion. Like, it's not strong, but it's not weak. Its floor is reasonable. So I'm going to take the card with the reasonable floor here and hope that we can find our way. Like, this is okay. Good. I wasn't sure what we were seeing exactly, but Grandma, Plague White, and even the Dagger Caster here are all reasonably good signs. We have one Blade Brand. We could take the Dagger Caster and look towards that Plague Windy combo. But I actually think going for the Plague Windy combo is less important than building out powerful cards in your deck. And we already have a Grandma. And if we go in this direction, we're kind of abandoning this excellent 2-drop. So I think the question here is really, do we think Plague White or Oligarch is the better 2-drop for Orzhov? And I'm curious where chat is at on that. Looks like Grandma is getting the support. It's close. Early on, I would have said, oh, assuming I can cast it, of course, Oligarch 100% Windmill Slam over this. But the old unblockable Plague White has really overperformed my expectations throughout the format. So, yeah, it's playable in more decks, Peacetime Fawn, but I think if we take Grandma, we're basically saying, see ya, Rhythm, we are looking to go Orzhov here. Oh, and also let's, while we're here, let's go see what's around Dagger Caster. Let's keep looking at that, make sure we understand what the bots around us are up to. And we see a Vindictive Vampire, Eyes Everywhere are the cards immediately around Dagger Caster, and then one layer out is Flames of the Raised Boar and Biogenic Upgrade. This scene, Eyes Everywhere tends to still be here at this point, so my guess is that we are seeing a missing Vindictive Vampire and a missing Biogenic Upgrade out of this pack, so I do like that we're staying away from green. We're clearly not green. And we really, yeah, we should have not taken the Rhythm. I gave into the Rhythm, but we got 2 signals from this, or no, just maybe at that point, 1 signal that the bot upstream was in green, but that was enough to, like, should have been enough to ward us off. As it is, back to this pick. Yeah, the chat is split between basically these two. There's 1 vote for Transport, and I think Transport is playable, but it's not something you prioritize. If you pick it up, you can throw it in. The Rhythm got me. Peacetime thinks we could very well end up in Rakdos from here, and that's a reason to take the white. I think that's a fair point. Like, we're not locked in just because of Grandma here. I think that's a great point, and I'm going to take the white. And boom, look at that. Rewarded. Because now we can take this as a pretty big... Well, it's not a sign. It's just a sign we've always known about, which is that the bots undervalue Fireblade Artists. So this isn't a signal, because we know that the bots don't like this card, but it's a great immediate example of why it was good to take the white there and give us the chance to lean the other direction. And to that end, we could just take the Footlight Fiend, which is going to make the deck no matter what. But I think Fireblade Artist is powerful enough that we want to take it in case of ending up red. And Dead Revels plus Carnival Carnage also point us in that direction. So I think we are headed Rakdos. I sure wish this... boy, if this were a Scorch Mark right now, I'd be so happy. But we went for power. I mean, I understand it. Like, let's not get rotty about that pick. But I think the tiebreaker should have been the bot. The bot info should have been the tiebreaker, is what I'm saying. Value the uncommon more, but Dead Revels is real good. Oh, it sure is. I hope we end up with Dead Revels before the end of this, but I think that was the correct pick there. I don't want to spew spears, but I will shoot fire from a trumpet. Sure. All right. Now let's get some more of these dudes, please. Scavenger versus Vampire. What do you got curve-wise? We're just all at 2. Funny. B-mark / yes. Note the message in the lower left corner of my screen. It's referring exactly to what you're talking about. which is, so just ignore the rollover. Click on the card that you see and ignore whatever rolls over is basically the answer. All at 2 is perfect for Rakdos. Agreed. Looks like a little more support for the scavenger. Okay. I think, you know, it's a, if you pick either way. Late Wrecker is fine. This is fine. You know, this is the time to get this stuff. We'll take a Storm Strike. We want to be more aggressive. This is reasonable. I hope we get 1 or 2 of these for the sideboard maybe, but I want to be on the aggressive side of town here. Cool. We get to take this rare because it's actually good for us. And again, so that we don't forget, like we already had 4 Hallowed Fountains, so it was not something I needed to remember, but I'm going to forget Pestilent Spirit, which we already have 2 of. So I'm going to go do this before I forget. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's go back to that pick, actually, because we might have another rare draft to consider. Because I saw, yeah, Incubation Druid. Let's see. Oh, man. And we have 4 Incubation Druids, so this is 20 gems as well. And if we don't take that, we're looking at, like, what? A Storm Strike? So this is actually a rare draft spot, too, but it's not one we need to go adjust our collection for. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Druid versus Acrobat, right? Well, the Acrobat will wheel, so I think this is a Windmill Slam 20 gems. Now we don't have any rares. Now I'm going to go, probably taking a Demise here, but before we make that pick, let's go and craft the Pestilent Spirit. And yes, I'll take the Grotesque here. Here's our current wild card situation. We have 25 rares and 7 mythics to work with in terms of extracting value from wild cards via draft. Unfortunately, a grandma that is passing us by. Oh yeah, bye grandma. We're not doing that anymore. And there's this that we could take, but we're just going to take the Vandal, right? I mean, it's not amazing here, but we'll get some meme value out of it, and it's the best card for our pack. But yeah, Guildgate is a justifiable pick here, but I'm less interested in them in an aggressive Rakdos deck than most decks in the format, so I'll focus on the curve. And also, we've spent some picks on rare drafting, so it's good to make sure that we have our picks up to snuff. Light up the stage could be decent for us because our high end, you know, if you think of our deck more like this, we're often going to be able to cast what this reveals, but removal is removal. It's just a Demise right there. We can just take the Grotesque Demise, so. Chat wants the light up the stage. You really think that's better than just Grotesque Demise? Morario84 asks what we were doing with crafting stuff mid draft. The Arena does not add cards you have drafted to your collection until the end of your draft. So right now, everything we've picked so far is kind of floating in escrow. It hasn't gone into our collection yet. So if before the cards we drafted leave escrow and enter our collection, we go to our collection and craft 4 copies of a card we have in escrow, a rare or a mythic. When that rare or mythic comes into our collection, it'll say, oh, you already have 4 of these, so instead of giving you this card to your collection, we're going to give you 20 gems for that rare, or 40 gems for that mythic. So once you have 4 copies of a given card, a given rare or mythic, if you draft it, you're straight up drafting gems. So when we look at So not only is this Pestilent Spirit going to be an excellent card in our deck, by running off and making 2 additional copies beyond the 2 we already had, we filled up on it and have turned this into 20 gems to boot. Yeah, I agree, Tekken Shaman. I think Light Up the Stage is not the correct pick here. It's the correct pick if you were drafting Cube and had a mono red burn deck, but we are drafting mid-range like we all are doing, and therefore I think Demise is correct. Want some Blade Jugglers, though. Where's our Blade Jugglers? We can take a straight up 2-1, but we do have, as we saw, we're pretty good on 2s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 creatures that we want to play on 2, though. So if we're hoping to get more Blade Jugglers going, we probably just want a dumb 2 over dumb 4s, even though we're not really activating this. It's sad, but it's what the deck wants, and this is why. It's all about turn 3 Blade Jugglers. We could take a payment, and maybe there's a world in which we're splashing, but here's another 2-drop or a removal spell. This might be the deck for, like, taking an Undercity's Embrace here. We're not really ever going to gain the 4, but I like this at least in the board. This is probably better to have in our arsenal than this in the main deck. So I'm going to take this and board it for right now. But if we end up with a weak draft, it could make the main deck. And I would rather just have this 3 than this Enabler, although this could be, again, in best of 3. I'm kind of on the Owen Turtenwald side of this card, that it's just... You just can't guarantee that you're on the front foot in all of your games, and when you're on the back foot, this is literally nothing. It's just, well, it's a life gain spell, right? Its floor is that it comes down and chumps something. So, but it is a decent sideboard card, as Smash says. So there's that factor, but I think Vampire is decent enough on its own to just take in that spot. We have another combat trick, a sideboard Deface, or another Acrobat. Don't know about the first one, much less the second, but you can't get a million jugglers, so Acrobats can be a reasonable backup plan. But yeah, I kind of agree with the Storm Strike, just keeping this low to the ground, sneaking in, turn 3, attack with your 2-drop, Storm Strike it to win combat, and then cast another 2-drop. Seems like a great way for this deck to win. Not going to main it because we don't have the green, but Collision out of the sideboard seems fantastic over, again, a pretty replaceable Vampire or Goblin. Don't know if we're playing 3 of these, but we'll take it just in case. Why do the bots hate Colossus so much? I think because they're bots, and I don't know how they have... They should be ranked... It's so easy to nudge the respect for the Gate Colossus just a little bit higher on the bots. I don't know why they haven't done it. Just priorities, I guess. Also, I'm sure there's a million things they're trying to get done. Wow, we're in the right... We found our seat. But that's what I was talking about. Like, this is it. And this is why... Remember, nobody wanted to take the Hallowed Fountain. Everybody wanted to take the Law Mage's Binding. First pick. We passed a Law Mage's Binding pack 1 pick 1 for this Hallowed Fountain, and the Binding wouldn't have made the deck if we drafted the hard way from there. If we had taken it and drafted the hard way from there. Oh, why do they hate Colossus so much? Yeah, sure. They hate both of them in weird amounts, but yes, the Collision Colossus is weird. How late that goes, I don't understand. It's such a good card. Simic Ascendancy. We also have 4 of these. So this is a straight up 20 gems if we want to take it. So this is a tougher choice. So we have a Get the Point, which is 100% going to make our deck and is going to be excellent in it, as opposed to the Binding, which was 25% to make our deck and be excellent in it. So, but binding is better than get the point. So do we want 20 gems from the Ascendancy or just the get the point? And I don't know which is... This is a very close one to me. And since it's close, I will go with the playable over the gems, since that's better TV. But if you took the gems here, I would not fault you. I think it might be better to just take the gems. It's awfully hard for a single pick to have a 20 gem impact on your draft. It's very hard. But for entertainment value too, we'll take that there. Here's a place where we might go for the rare though, because I mean, there's a consign to the pit or a wrecker. Like none of the Rakdos cards here are any good, so this is a perfect rare drafting spot. And we only have one Spellbreaker, but again, we're closing in on starting to complete this set, so I'm going to take the Spellbreaker and then we're going to go... Yeah, I thought it seemed like we were smart to stay out of Gruul, but now, like, the Gruul has definitely been there, but so has Rakdos. I think this is a Gruul-heavy pack in terms of its contents, but I believe we're in the right place. So I'm going to take the Spellbreaker, see if there's another rare to consider. There's not another rare to consider here. Wow, look at this. See, now this is a pack for us, right? So we'll get back to that, but I want to go craft the Spellbreaker before I forget. Yeah, that's true. Green seems... I don't know, it's hard to say what the bots are up to here, but get some gems out of that. Rejoin and consider another Carnival Carnage or Plague White or Demise. I think those are the reasonable choices here. With a hope to wheel the Guild Gate, hopefully. I would love to get a Guild Gate out of this one. Oh yeah, Carnival turning into a kill anything is pretty good with Pestilent Spirit. If we also found something like Gates Ablaze and 2 gates or something, you could try and combo that off, but that's, you know. Yeah, we probably wheel this, right? We've seen that we're wide open. That Rakdos is wide open. This is this is a card not respected by bots, and I would like some more 2s. We have 2 Demises, a Get the Point in the Pit, so we have some removal, and we have combat tricks as well that act as quasi removal. So I think we want to support the jugglers we have with additional unblockables like the Plague White. So I'm going to take the Plague White over the Demise narrowly. And we're going to try and wheel that uncommon. No guarantees that we will. Probably wheel this again. The bots just don't respect collision at all for some reason. Under Siege Embrace is okay, but this is a spot where we can fix our mana a little bit. Racketeers versus another Blade Brand. Blade Brand probably wheeling, but, you know, Blade Brand plus Storm Strike is, having 2 of these in hand means Value Town out of kind of nowhere for 3 mana, so that's kind of cool. And this is just okay. But Blade Brand probably comes back around. I don't know. Maybe it's been going a little bit higher since the bot update. I can't remember. Chat wants just to go Blade Brand. Okay, we'll do it. That's fine. Lean and mean. Nothing really for us here. We could take a Guild Gate for... There's no way we're splashing anything. We don't have anything to splash. So probably just a vampire, or maybe even a crocodile. Like I would run a crocodile one of against the green decks just to have a big beefy ground dude. So yeah, I'm gonna take the croc for that purpose. Which I like. This deck's not playing a 7-drop, so I'm not taking a 7-drop. How many carnivals do you wish? Because we're gonna take this one and try and wheel another one. 1,000,000 Gate Colossi. You can get another Trumpeter here, or a little bit of big beef if we wanted some bigger end, or Grudian to shore up some weakness against the green creatures. We have a couple of Blade Brands though, so we kind of have our surprise Death Touch, so it's not like we're dead to the green creatures or anything. So what do you think? Are you looking for another Trumpeter? A Slinger for the sideboard is another possibility. Cheap reach. I don't think we're going to fight flyers by blocking them, though. We're going to fight flyers by racing them in this deck. Some support leaning towards the Trumpeter. Peacetime Fawn says never too many 2s, and I kind of agree with you, but I think you can have too many Trumpeters, and I'm not sure I want 3. Like, they're really rough in multiples. But a floor of a 1/3 for 2 isn't the worst. I'm going to look at Curve again. There's some support for taking the Guild Gate, but I'm not sure what we're splashing there that we care about. We're not splashing that, so let's get that out of there. Ooh, you know, like, I guess giving us a Colossus side of Collision when we bring it in, maybe, is a reason to take the Gruul Gate here. But I think we need to take a card for our deck. All right, I'll take the Trumpeter because there's the support for it, but I kind of wish I'd taken the other one. Here's a Tin Street Dodger versus a Locket versus that kind of free access to the Colossus side of Collision when we decide to bring that in. And the trouble with the Dodger is it doesn't really enable the turn 3 Juggler the way you want because you have to activate it. It's reasonable reach, though. Unless they have defenders, this is getting through slowly and steadily. We have enough playables, though, that I think with only one gate, we actually have 27 cards that we're looking from here. So let's take a gate. We got cuts to make already. There's a Wrecker, another Consign, a third Acrobat. We're probably not going to play the 2 we've got, so I don't think I want the Acrobat. I also am not sure I want to slow down our mana that much just for the Miser's Colossus when we bring that in. But also, I don't know if we're playing 2 Consign the Pits, so we probably should, because if we wheel the other Colossus, we'll be happy that we have the 2-gate 2 Colossus package against flying decks. So I think it's worth taking the gate here in anticipation of that. And yeah, we're gonna go for the maximum carnage. Here's the Colossus as expected, so we get the package I was just talking about. And random transport, more important. They're probably better here than random additional 3. Like, these are really 3s for us, and these are trying to be 3s. This is more 4. Probably not playing this. Just looking at like where we really are on curve. Probably not playing this unless we... Yeah, and since I just took one of these out, we'll take this. We'll take one of these as an option. On principle, we'll take a Locket over the Fog. All right, we have a very good deck. Decent deck, solid deck. It doesn't have any stupid bombs, but we found an open seat and picked up a lot of redundancy and have a straightforward game plan. And I'm going to go plug in this 80 grind. Before I forget, so we ground for 80. We are black, red. And we're traditional RNA. Played 0 gold, 0 gems, because we paid entry with a token. All right. Yeah, we can cut Gravelhide for sure. Let's check our numbers here. 14, 11. Probably want to cut non-creatures. Like, I'm going to cut Consign. Keep this lean and mean. Lean and mean. You put those like that, this looks a lot better. We could cut a Blade Brand. Or a Storm Strike. Since Blade Brand isn't combo... Well, Blade Brand combos with Carnival. So... Oh, no, he doesn't. What am I thinking? Oh, we were talking about how... Spirit combos with Carnival, so that's not... Yeah, we could cut a Blade Brand. Yeah, we could cut a land. That's been suggested. We only just have the one get the point. And we're drawing a couple cards off Blade Juggler and are pretty low down. Yeah, I think I'm down with that. Cutting a land, and we have... Do we have any doubles? Let's look at our spread again. 17, we're a little heavier on black, so we'll lean black with that. And what do you have? This is all about the carnival, like 3-day carnival. So this. Three-day carnival. There we go. Should be Hallowed Fountain on the grind. That's fair. Nah. How to get the draft token. The pre-release packs for Ravnica Allegiance at your local game store contained a token that had a code on the back, and once per account, someone can enter a code for their account and produce a free draft. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's get the battlefield view. Let's get the record updated. And we're looking good. All right. I had just misplaced my box when I got back from the pre-release, actually, peacetime. It was not any kind of restraint. It was just not dealing with my stuff properly. We're going first. Got to mulligan that. We can keep this, though. That looks good. You don't want that. We're going to try to go Trumpeter into Acrobat. Oh, Pestilent Spirit with Storm Strike is quite good, because the Menace Death Touch says you gotta block with 2, and then if you can give it First Strike, you get to 2-for-1 them, getting both creatures off of the Death Touch First Strike combo without losing the Spirit. So that'll be amazing if we can find a way to pull that off. And with Oppo being in blue-green here, at least to start, it suggests that we are going to be experiencing some blocking as a means of defense. Since we don't have a 4th land, I'm going to go with the Juggler to try and find it. If we had a 4th land, I would just play the Acrobat to maximize our damage potential. So we'd love a basic land of any kind here. Actually, there's nothing... We love a land. It's all basics from here. If we get a land, we can attack with Storm Strike at the ready and still resolve a Pestilent Spirit or an Acrobat. No such luck, but we should be able to get an acrobat down here. This looks like a great opponent to have a couple of Storm Strikes against, although we got to watch out for bounce. Slime Bind means that if we brought in, like, the Scavenger, we probably have sacrificed targets. You know, it's a reason to consider the Scavenger, at least. And I guess we're dropping the Spirit. Hopefully they tap out to produce a largest creature and choose to Caretaker large creature double block the Spirit next turn, and then we just blow them out. Interesting. But we'll take it. And we got our land. They don't have a lot of great plays here. It's kind of like their best play is to only lose a Mystic to the Storm Strike. But that looks like what's going to happen. They just lose a Mystic to the Storm Strike. And I'm going to... I'm going to top it. We don't have the 5th land yet, but if we end up where we're not just winning with what we have in hand, we're probably going to need to get the point. I basically think we're going to win with what's in our hand. But if plan A of winning with what we've got doesn't work, we're going to need to get the point, I think. If I were Oppo, I wouldn't even bother showing that. I mean, we now know, like, that's something to really keep in mind for the follow-up games here. But they're at 5. They can't really block. They gotta block a juggler. We have just so much menace that they can't really deal. If we just haste an attack. Too much menace. Okay, we saw Simic. They might have flyers. They usually have flyers. We could bring in the Collision Colossus package for something like... We should figure out what that package is, what it means when we do that. Like, probably it means we go bink, 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 in, like something like that. You know, cut down our Stormstrike Bladebrand plan to increase, to add this Collision Colossus plan. but maybe we need to see more overt flying action before we take on that plan. But that's what we would do, I think. We could play the crocodile if they're going to be generically beefy over there. Probably playing some 2/2s that become 6/6s, where a crocodile would be a good defender. Yeah. Could be the Underseas Embrace matchup, but not really. They showed like that 0-3 that bad elf or whatever, and I don't think we necessarily need to do this. I just wanted to see what it would look like if we did want to do that. Let's go back to this and this and this again. Reset it. And really just consider whether I want a crocodile here over like a get the point, but no, I'm going to run it back. I think it's just a run it back spot. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're in a reasonable enough spot that we don't have to force that. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're going to mulligan. I have to keep this and find some land. Oppo has mulliganed as well. I just don't think they know it. Come on, mountain. Mountain, 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 mountain. Off the top mountain, please. Didn't get exactly what I asked for, but I'll take it. We gotta play. Hey, Adam. Glad you could hang for a little bit. Well, we can carnival that Savant if we want. Let's see what we draw, though. Hopefully just basic land and we get the juggler down. Yeah, if we can find some red and a couple of lands, I would rather just carnage their hand, their last couple of cards. Okay. Nothing is going to happen to, like, we get Blade Brand for a mountain, but what does that do? Nothing. So we're going to play the swamp and assume that our trumpeter is getting through here. We're either getting... I guess they could have the fairy. Is this an instant? That's an instant at least. So if they have the fairy, we have the bailout plan of pinging the Savant. So we'll attack. That's more what I expected. Here comes the fairy? No? Man, my spidey senses say they've got the fairy duelist, but didn't use it. But maybe I'm wrong. They could have quench here, in which case we could try something we didn't want, but we gotta try the juggler. We gotta find our red, find some land. If they quench it, just gotta accept that. I expected them to not block because without a trick, if they block, they're just the trumpeter eats the Savant and the trumpeter doesn't die. So there was no good block without a trick to support it. Yeah, white is pretty good here. We'll see what we end up. See what we draw. Like, if we don't draw a land, I think the play might be just Carnival the Savant and be prepared to Blade Brand the Creeper. Oh, that's an interesting offer. I don't know why you're attacking the Rakdos deck, but bring it on, sir. Bring it on, Chaser. Just need to unlock this action a little bit. Blade Brand, if they block Trumpeter, Caretaker, that's fine. We're going to send in and have Blade Brand as our action if they choose to block anything with the Creeper. And if they don't, then we'll play the white. I don't want to double Carnival the Creeper. I don't think we're that desperate. I'm just going to Plague White, and then we have the single Carnival available. These acrobats are not great, but they kind of just are okay dorks. If we get that spectacle on, you know, I play 4/2s for 3 and shrug, so 5/2 for 3 is fine. Yeah, I really want to just get some red and start ripping apart that hand, then I don't think we can lose. Back into the Wheel of Time. Is that your first time through? I started it, found it enjoyable, but just couldn't commit to that ask. Couldn't commit to the ask that is represented by the Wheel of Time. Maybe I should. Yeah, we'll just come back here. Well, better than nothing. But we could end up Blade Branding and finding just a straight up mountain. And I like all the attacks here. I like even counting books doesn't even do that series justice. You got to count pages. Like, how many pages is that series? It is. Is it the longest? Longest series ever written? Probably. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to this action. Just making sure we want to attack here. They've got some open mana, and we know they have like a Frilled Mystic and stuff, so that's a real possibility. But we just generally have good attacks, so especially with Blade Brand and Carnival, so we're going to do it. Yeah, Double D's, the last couple of books were actually... The series was finished by one of my favorite authors, Brandon Sanderson. It's only 11,000 pages? I honestly thought it would be significantly more than 11,000. Oppo maybe newish? Those are... Oppo making some... rookie mistakes. And we still don't have really anything we want to do on this front. So we end the turn. Interesting, Swim Down. You're one of the first Wheel of Time fans I've heard from who explicitly said they did not like how Sanderson finished it. I haven't read it, mind you. I decided that I could not commit to the ask that was the Wheel of Time, but for those who have, mostly I've heard happy things about feelings of Sanderson's work to close out the series. Incubation, sure. Good luck. Good luck all in. We're gonna crush ya. Well, that's much easier to play around when you see it right there in their hand. Oppo, I don't think you want to do that. At some point, you gotta try and trade. Okay, well, now what? They're gonna probably chump there anyway. We can play the Fireblade Artist and have the Blade Brand up. Not that we need Blade Brand. I think I'm just going to attack, see if they want to trade something off here. Yeah, I'm thinking attack and Carnage is what I want to do. We just Carnage them a couple times, and I don't know how they win. If they leave up Frilled Mystic, then we just keep attacking and make them play the Mystic as a blocker. There you go. You got it, Oppo. That's correct. Making a 5-power creature isn't the worst either, but it's not going to get through. They're going to stay back and block. I'm just going to work the Carnages from here. Man, Swim Down, if Sanderson didn't have the attention to detail for it, then it was an impossible task. That's just going to be GG. We get 3 from the... Oh, and they're attacking? You can't attack, Oppo. Alright, well now we just literally get the game. I don't know what they're thinking. Sanderson has a team. Not a team. Sanderson has at least one person whose job is attention to detail. Basically, like tracking the world and helping him manage inconsistencies and making sure that the narrative is clean and tight. Yeah, I know. Swim Down's not... yeah, that's why. Like, again, I haven't read these books, so I cannot offer an opinion. But it surprises me to hear somebody say they didn't like how Sanderson finished it, or that Sanderson didn't have enough attention to detail to do it, because I have not heard either of those things before. But opinions. All opinions are held. Ah, yes. Thank you, Peacetime. So I guess he does have a team. Husband and wife team. Keeping his own worlds straight. Double double. 2 pair. I raise. Hey B Mark, thanks for hanging while you can. We'll see you next time. Looks like we got some mirroring happening here. And I like that our trumpeter actually prevents the Maka from connecting for spectacle. We'll trade the trumpeter for a trick or whatever, but we definitely don't want them connecting for spectacle on 3. Can't really stop that, though, so we're going to just start racing here. Yeah, that'd be a card I would have liked for our deck. Let's see. We got to Carnage their last 2 cards for sure. And then see if we can win the race from there. So Hackerbat's got to die. Maybe I should be leaving a trumpeter back to block this Maka. I've probably been playing that wrong. We're racing, but this particular trade isn't good for us. Here we have... my plan was to get the point, the Hackerbat, but now we have this Acrobat, and we might need to hit the Acrobat instead of the Hackerbat. But I don't know if we can take another hit from the Hackerbat, so then we have to, like, throw the Trumpeter in the way. How do we win from here? We can get the Fireblade Artist going in terms of sacrificing stuff. Probably... I think we have to get the point and stay back on D. And maybe, actually with our current setup, we double block the Acrobat and we only lose 1 Trumpeter. So I'm actually going to get the point, the Hackerbat. Oh, and we can wait. It's an instant, so that's good too. All right, we're going to wait. That's my plan. We just had to come up with what with our line, and there are a couple lines we could go with there, but the line I'm going with is double block the 5/2 and get the point, the Hackerbat, after activation. They didn't activate, but that's cool. Blade Brand. What does that matter to us? It's not really doing any work for us here on this situation, so we're going to bottom the Blade Brand. And we got another one. All right, well, we're going to Artist. And white. And if they draw a land here, we're at a virtual 1. Alright, well, gotta kill him now, huh? Kill him now, you say. Well, all of this kind of gets through. You could argue the white, since it actually it's not going to be able to get through. But one of these is. I think we did. But let's see, if this... How could we win from here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we're just dead to... Yeah, I guess we're not dead if they don't draw a land. So yes, we're going to decline. And attack like this. Actually, we can attack with everything. If they don't draw a land, we just go to 1. So we got to assume they're not going to draw. We can't beat a land draw, so we're going to attack with everything. And we can go ahead and even activate this. So, no land, no land, no land for Oppo. And we have a chance. Played to our outs, didn't get there, but I like the lines we took. We did what we could. Rakdos Mirror. What are we going to do about that? Let's put these back where they belong. So I can get a sense of things. We are definitely not bringing in the green here. We could get a little bit closer to the ground with Scavenger and or Goblin. I don't think Scavenger is better than Wrecker, really, in this situation. The only question is whether we want a Goblin over maybe a Wrecker to get us even lower. Like that. I think that makes some sense. I'm gonna do that. Third strike, too many. Yeah, I don't want 3 strikes. I think it feels a little, especially with 2 Blade Brand. We got, you know, we got enough stuff that requires creatures in play already. We got 4 things that we really want creatures to make good use of. A Velzen, 3 strikes and you're out. Yes, basically. Any fantasy baseball fans out there? About to kick off my annual team draft fantasy baseball league with some of my friends. Oh. Can you show me the swamp and mountain on top and then I keep this? Keep that. And only keep one of these Blade Brands. You don't have to be into baseball. You just have to be into predicting statistics. My team draft fantasy baseball league is also a good one for the more lightly enfranchised fantasy types. Oh man, Oppo's deck is sick. Hold on a second. Let's see. We have a Wrecker or Hide plus Blade Brand, but the Blade Brand's not doing anything here, so let's Wreck. And we'll go ahead and make it big so that it can block Oppo's Artist. So my team draft format is a 4-round snake draft of entire pitching staffs and entire offenses. So, for example, in a traditional fantasy baseball league, you might first pick, hold on a second here, let's go. Not doing any of this. Yeah, so like instead of first picking Mike Trout of the Angels, you could pick the Los Angeles Angels offense, right? So then at the end of the draft, you have 2 offenses and 2 pitching staffs, and you build a roster using only players from those 4 half teams. And then we redraft twice during the year to keep things fresh and allow you to do that. Let's see. Cycle Blade Brand, hope to hit Carnival. Yeah, we'll probably cycle Blade Brand this turn just because we want to. We're trying to figure out... Yeah, I guess we do that first. Well, let's send in... Actually, I'm going to send it all in first. If they double block the Wrecker, the Blade Brand will be great. And they're not gonna. They're gonna just let that happen. And then I would rather just Gravel Hide. And we still have the Hunt for Carnival plan that we can activate here. But happy to trade. Ohtani is treated as a pitcher, actually, because he's the most value of... Although is he what? I don't even know his status this year, actually, if I'm honest. But then it's weekly rosters, so you just set your rosters once a week, and it's kind of a set it and forget it league, because really once you set your rosters, you kind of just are enjoying baseball then for the next couple months. It gives you a rooting interest. One thing I like in my format is if you end up, say, you take the Angels offense and then later on you get the Angels pitching, and when you have both halves of the same team, you just get to be a fan of that team for the next 2 months, you know? Yeah, it depends on the league rules, but we're just going with what our league rules say. Oof. Our 16 lander is coming up short here on delivering the spell heaviness we were looking for. I have a rules page I can share if anybody wants to. Big ol' PhD, maybe you can sell them on this one. I made it because, one of the problems with fantasy baseball is that traditional fantasy baseball is super deep and requires constant monitoring of the free agent pool and of injuries and demotions and promotions of players to starters and bench players and that kind of thing. I think this one's now in the slipping away camp. I don't want to block any of that. I'm going to take one more attack here and hope we untap and draw. If I don't attack, what am I blocking and why? Trading with the Hackerbat? Maybe I just have to trade with the Hackerbat here, actually. Yeah, we'll try to do that. Let's see. Team draft rules. I think this is a shared doc, so let me know if you can't get to this or whatever. But anybody interested in the format, there's my rule sheet for it, and you can run your own team draft league. If there was enough interest, I would consider running a second team draft league with going optimal viewers. If there were, you need 12, so if there was 11 viewers willing to jump into a team draft baseball league with me, I would run a second league. They're not hard to run. Maybe I'll put that in the Discord, see if we can get capacity. Well, we're still not fully dead. I'm just gonna do this now. Didn't have a great reason for that, though. Should have a reason for doing stuff. Against red, black, there is some chance that they're... I guess the reason to do it is they may do something to augment the creature's power, thus making Grotesque Demise not work anymore. So I made the right decision for the wrong reason. Right decision, but I didn't actually come up with a reason, so... Nothing we can kill there. Again, I think we're just gonna... This one's just slipping away. Sad times. Yep, we're done here, folks. We tried. Got a little... In a 16-land Rakdos deck sees... sees, 9 lands. You're not getting there. Ah, well. So the free-to-play is staring at a gem-free event if we don't come up with the win here. We'll play first. Hey, it's something we can keep. How exciting. Okay, we'll start with the white. Try to get that into the juggler here. Yeah, we could pretty clearly... This usually means you're up against a gate deck. Not many decks play it outside of a gate deck, but sometimes I guess a 3-color deck might, but normally I expect to see it in 4 or 5-color gates. Well, I want to be aggressive, but I don't like giving oppo cards, so we're gonna exile this sneaky sneak while we can and crash in for 5. Maybe it's not a gate deck. Maybe it's just blue-white and they happen to have a sneak that they're trying to get through. That could be. The Amazing Plague White still can attack here. That's fantastic. We're going to keep applying maximum pressure while we can and hopefully snag a couple good cards with Carnage, but next play is probably double Trumpeter. Yeah, here's where, you know, people talk about, well, it's this is your finisher in a control deck, but it's actually not great at that job. trying to decide between Vandal and Double Trumpeter. Actually, might want to attack and... like, we're going to Vandal, I think, and give it the haste so that we can pitch, say, the Blade Brand and maybe find another land and get a Trumpeter down. It's not actually looking like a gate deck. It's looking like a blue-white, an Esper deck with a sneak so far.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Actually, I'm gonna ditch one of the Trumpeters. They're not great in multiples. That's why I wasn't super psyched about getting a third one. Because you can't really activate multiple Trumpeters in a turn. Do we bring the Undercity's Embrace in for possible Colossus? Yeah, again, it's not... The idea that you're going to nab a Colossus with an Undercity Embrace is pretty ambitious. I don't think that's a very likely result. Blade Brand looks to be good here, though. They're going to have to put in a block. And we can start to close out the game with the Carnages. But here I think it's Blade Brand, Trumpeter, and then we'll get the Carnage going. Oh, we can ditch a Blade Brand too. We'll ditch one, use the other. Hey, Arlov. Thank you. I hope you're well as well. I'm doing all right. I can't complain, but sometimes I still do. We picked up a white, which is going to be a better drop here than the Trumpeter, so that we can Carnage next turn and still be attacking for 2 power. That doesn't seem fair. Actually getting 2 creatures with Deputy of Detention and Limited. Very nice, Oppo. Very nice. Gotta tip that cap. And actually affects our endgame here quite a bit. But we do still get Carnage and Trumpeter. And we get their last 2 cards. So that was annoying, but they still need to draw out of this. We can't quite get him in any direction here. I could pump, but then it's the only thing we're doing this turn, besides having a Carnival ready. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and hit him here, try to, and look to juggle. And looks like we get the Carnival Carnage anyway, so that's cool. Probably just a land here, but we're still going to do it. That is the Miracle Quench. Yeah, just the land. All right. Finished him off. So yeah, it was not a gate deck, just blue-white control with a single, or at least 1 sneak. Blue-white control with, we really didn't see flyers, but I think we should presume they are there and do this stuff. And then decide what we're cutting for this trickery. Maybe even cut 1 Carnival. And one Storm Strike or one Blade Brand. How much blocking are they doing? They're blocking with pretty large toughness too, so maybe Storm Strike is the weakness here. In fact, maybe it's like take 2 Storm Strike out and put the Carnival Carnage back in. Is my name cultural appropriation? Probably. Yeah, probably some white European dudes traveled to Spain, and I don't know. We've looked at the origin of my name, but it's hard to say. Maybe a non-Spanish person who spent a lot of time in Spain became known as that guy of Spain or something. But I certainly don't have a lot of Spanish blood. I just have the last name Spain. But I'm going to leave it as this. We'll try it this way. We'll leave one of the first strike spells in, but I'm thinking maybe they should both come out with what Oppo was showing. Easy keep. Maybe it's more gatey than we thought, or maybe they're just willing to play whatever gates they have for the sneak. Also, they showed Esper, so I said it was like Azorius, but really it was an Esper control deck. I just assume the flyers are in there. Maybe they're not. Maybe this is a weirdo Esper deck, and putting in the flying defense was not great. But the good news is we have the Guild Gate to turn them into amazing combat tricks instead. So even if they're dead as flying tricks, they're not dead as useful in the game. We could do another one and replay the white, or go with the Vandal on 3. And I think I like Vandal on 3 here.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
Now, gate plus the white seems correct. And next turn we have good attacks. Now you're getting into my childhood teasing nicknames, K-Cat. Ryan's a pain. Hey, Ryan, where's your pain? Is your pain in Spain, Ryan? You know, might be worth it to just get the Vandal back here. But no, I don't care. They want to hit for 1. Okay, maybe they're trying to spectacle their own Blade Juggler or something. But I don't care about that enough. That's pretty good. But we still got tricks. Hopefully you have the cleverness of an 8-year-old plus. That was just the 8-year-old side of you came out there. You're still in touch with it. That's a good thing. Well, this is kind of our last chance to wreck their hand with the Carnages. And I kind of think that's going to be worth it over juggling here. Although they're going to draw another... Yeah, I'm going to Carnage while the Carnaging is good. That's my take. Really, Estrith? Your dad is a Mr. Spain and you declined? My wife's maiden name was Doherty, and I asked, I wasn't going to tell her to change or not change her name. She said, well, I've always thought about it, and I decided it was going to be a game time decision, you know, or like I got to hear the name first. If it improves on Doherty, I'll take it. If it doesn't, then I'll leave it, you know, I'll keep my own name. And she's like, are you kidding? I'm totally going to be Margaret Spain. I sound like an international spy or something. So my wife liked the name enough to take it. So that was an honor. How are we going to win this game? I guess we're going to get those last 2 cards. If we do that, we are effectively saying 3, 4, we're willing to take 6 and go to 7. Maybe, though, it's greedy to keep attacking. We'll just stay back and threaten to block the precinct 1 here. So we'll say no attacks and Carnage the hand. They may have Thought Collapse, so it goes. What are we going to do? My problem is that I let auto tap paint me into an unfortunate corner. We are really flooding out with our 16 land deck this event, unfortunately. Do this. Blocking where we can. One, two, three, four. So they can still launch this, so we're still dead, unfortunately. Could have made him do it, but I want to just get on with it here. And I think I like the 1 Storm Strike. Especially we're going to be on the play here and be more likely to be attacking. And I liked 1 Carnage less. Like, the Carnivals lose their oomph when they're out of cards. But, yeah, I'm going to run it back like this. Okay. Nice little curve. Some removal waiting for us at the end of it. We'll try to squeeze this in on turn 4, unless something comes up requiring all that mana. Or we could now... no, we still want the Spirit here. What am I thinking? Especially since they can't counter it. They can kill it, but they can't counter it. Or they might be able to. Don't mind a deck taking 5 against me. Then we get a perfect opportunity to play the gate on 4 with a juggler on 3. If they look to control via creatures, the Storm Strike should be very good. And again, control deck playing Ill-Gotten Inheritance to an empty board is actually not a great play. Not ready to pump the Trumpeter yet. We still have things to cast. Probably cycling the Blade Brand, but it's conceivable they play a creature that we want to Blade Brand through, like a 2/5 or something here. Yeah. But we'll just get the point that. Might even incur the scoop. Yeah, keep it juggy. So Storm Strike will take out the Thrall without us losing a dude, and then we get to cast the Juggler, so it's all coming up great. We could even, we could also activate and Storm Strike. Let's see what happens on the attack first. Because we could, if we take 4, then we get to follow up only with a Blade Brand. So that, or if we add the, if we pump, I mean, if we spend 4, we get 3, 5, and then they go back up to 3. I'm definitely going to save the Juggler. And then we should just, yeah, we'll keep that on top. And we'll juggle it into our hand. And probably cycle, okay, they're just done. That's good too. Cool. Pulled it out. Got a nice hand in game 3 to get us to some gems. Yes, we could have gotten the point on upkeep to control the draw. Didn't really think that through, but felt minor. Felt like we were just pushing to the finish line there. Keep that. Go, go, Plague White. White-green, not a... Plains Forest is not often the 1-2 land punch you see in the format, but there you go. Nothing else to do, so we'll go ahead and play the Artist with the haste. Oppo tanking. What are we expecting here? It's a gate deck or something else going on? I don't know. I'm going to decline. We can play a couple of creatures here. That's cool. Oh, no, we can't. Constrained on black, unfortunately. We'll send out a second white and hope we find some black. Really want a swamp here. Yes, excellent. Oppo is missing land, and they didn't find one off the admonition play, so we really want to close this one out. Got to take advantage of these times when your opponents are up against it and crush them before they can stabilize. I don't think that's necessarily a conclusion to draw about planeswalkers. I think having a lot of often planeswalkers, think about the number of times where you can't really play them effectively because they are just going to get attacked and killed, and effectively you're looking at it and saying, okay, well, we are I'm going to decline. Well, Trumpeter's only worth 1 here because I'm going to get the point. So could get 2 with that. Yeah, I'm actually going to chuck a Trumpeter at him because of this plan here. And again, yeah, I should put my upkeep stop with get the point because the scry does matter in the upkeep. I just actually haven't played get the point much. I don't end up in Rakdos a lot. We'll keep that. I think that's a safe keep. There you go. Yeah, I basically, there's a lot of speculation about what the format is going to be like and what the consequences of that information about it are. But at the end of the day, I still trust in my former colleagues in R&D to create great Magic sets, and I expect them to have the chops and discipline to pull it off when they try something crazy like this. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm not speculating much. I'm just like, great, can't wait till these expert designers show me what they've come up with. And I'm looking forward to it. And assuming flying from what we saw there. So maybe that again. Or no, we dropped a Carnival. And yeah, I like this swap that we did before. Yeah, there's always fear of gimmick. Fear of gimmick, and then it's like, well, yeah, it's a gimmick, sure, but by gimmick we mean tried something fresh and new and hopefully exciting, right? And just for this time. Well, shoot, no 2s, but I can't quite throw this back. I'm going to keep. Really sad for our deck not to play a 2, but we knew what we were up for when we made that choice. Oh, Trumpeter, you're just a little late, bud. Just a little late. Not too bad, just a little late. Oppo out of lands. Let's see if they found another one. No, but they do have a sizable ram anyway. Colossus makes that a 5/5. So... But we may just want to sit back and Blade Brand it. Although we'll Blade Brand it eventually. I think actually right now I'm just going to attack and play the Juggler. Let's see, 4 mana. What are we going to do with 4 mana? Because the Juggler is just 3. And then we get Carnival Carnage as a potential that maybe we... Yeah, I'm just going to juggle. Oh, we don't have green yet? I was thinking that land was that we'd played the right guild gate. Okay, good to then we had to do that anyway. Definitely going to be a Blade Brand kill at some point. Or an attempted one. It's pretty telegraphed if we send in the juggler here. And they may just take. We do have the Burning Tree Vandal Blade Brand play if they do. I'm going to make them have the discipline to not block. I'm going to go ahead and telegraph here. We have what we have, and they're stuck on 3, so I think their choices are pretty limited anyway when they're stuck on 3. That's a nice play for someone stuck on 3. Ouch. See if the Vandal can help.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
That was big game. We really needed that Blade Brand to take out the Ram. Now we're looking for alternate solutions. Specifically, finding one of our gates, our green gates, would help. But how absurd is this card? Oppo is just stuck on 3 lands, but is wailing on us with a frickin' 5/5 Vigilance Trample. Probably have to set up for a 2-for-1 now of some kind, but I'm going to start here. Drawing Get the Point would be an acceptable solution, but I'll just take I'll even take the gate, like I said. How about the gate? Or another Blade Brand? Give us another Blade Brand. We can knock out 2 cards of their hand. It's not going to do much to them, though. I'm just trying to figure out if we need Carnival to support the attempt to trade. So I'm going to say no on the Carnage for now. And we're going to stay back and try and 2-for-1 ourselves against this Ram. Yeah, he's about to have to discard while killing us because of this broken card. Is it another? Okay, we can sacrifice itself anyway. Add out, Ace. Get out of here. Get out of here right now. We're so vulnerable, too, with this attack, but we can't beat it unless we kill it. So we are going to put ourselves at significant risk and attempt to get out of this with a 2-for-1. Or at least attempt to get out of this with a 2-for-1 against us that takes out the Ram, at least. We gotta try. They're very likely to blow us out here, but we had to try. It was our only chance to stabilize against this Ram with our current situation. Yeah, that's going to be enough. We can't really beat this. I mean, I shouldn't do that. It shouldn't be that hopeless. We just have to reconsider what our new outs are. And our new outs are to draw Get the Point, and we go ahead and sacrifice this because it can't do anything anyway. Let's Get the Point. No Get the Point. We can do this. Put on a counter. Now I'm not sure we want to... I might undo this package. This is more gatey than we thought. It ended up looking like just a straight Esper control deck. But seeing a lot more gate stuff here. If we do draw Get the Point, we still have collision for the duelist if we absolutely need to. So I'm going to just take the one from the duelist here. Take all of this. We can technically survive. So then I suppose we ought to. I can't find an avenue to victory here, given that we know that like everything in their hand is a spell. You know, like we can't even do the thing of like, well, if they have nothing but land, it's like, well, if they have nothing but cards they shouldn't have played. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna undo this play. Actually. And put this back in. What was it? One of these, right? Yeah, I'm gonna run that back. All right, see you, PhD. Come on, let's get our buy-in back. I want this game. Give me a nice opener. Nice opener to let us try and catch this match. Here we go. Not really a nice opener because, again, we don't have a 2. But also, again, I just can't... How do you throw this back? You can't throw this back. Oppo Mold to help us out a little bit. 5, 5, 5! Really want to draw a 2-drop creature off the top of the deck. That's the dream here. No luck. Oh, could be bad. Now I want him to play something to cycle the Blade Brand on. Nope, 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 nope. Alright, Demise gives us a play if they do something, but this is not what Rakdos wants to start against a control-y gate deck. Well, we'll cycle... No, we probably have to try and kill it with the Blade Brand again, so can't really do that. Thinking of actually just giving it haste. It depends on if we're actually going to use the Wrecker to try and trade or like the Juggler. If it's just going to try and trade with the Ram, we may as well get 2 damage in now because we're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to block this turn. But next turn, if we make it 3/3, next turn we might be able to attack, trigger the Juggler, and have the mana to make the Juggler be the Blade Brand target. So I'll go ahead and make a counter, and we'll see if we can use the Juggler to trade for the Ram instead of the... Or try to get the Juggler to trade for the Ram with the Blade Brand instead of the Wrecker. Maybe I should have brought in Undercity Embrace. I really don't like Edict effects. They just can fall so flat. The floor on Edict effects is so bad. Please just have one Ram at least. Only one. Ugh. So rough. It's about as bad as it could go for us to have that bounce like that. Getting deflated here. Trying to find a way to survive. Now it's going to be play the juggler at full price. That's not a bad draw for surviving. From one snowy region to another, huh? Hold on a second. Well, if you accept my friend request, Thomas, I'll make you a mod of this here channel. So we couldn't be deader. And Arena, Watsy, please update the bots again, and will you please have them respect these cards highly? Come on. It's really a bummer that the such strong gate decks are constantly lurking in this format. Yeah, Spirit Double Carnage gives us lets us kill them in the short turn. That I'm just sad because the Colossus is going to get us. I don't think we can avoid death by Colossus, but Carnival is instant, so we can get him at instant speed. They show counter spells. They showed some countering. Let's do it now. On the Ram, at least. And I'm gonna try the Blade Brand to get the Gate Colossus. And now at least if they want to, like, exile the Juggler or whatever, it's not a major blowout. We've already gotten a card off the Juggler. We're going to upkeep Carnival the Colossus so that if they have a gate, they don't get it back until next turn. Or I guess it wouldn't matter either way, right? If we do it now, then they play the gate and get it back on top. If we do it on there, they play... Yeah, it doesn't actually matter, does it? So might as well do it while they are tapped out. Yeah, maybe... Yeah, we still have to take out the Colossus, though. Yeah, I'm going to attack and offer the Wrecker. I could offer the Plague White over the Wrecker, but they already know we have the Wrecker, and I was expecting that anyway. So given that, we want the more aggressive possibility, and I think that just kills us, unfortunately. This deck deserved better. It was pretty good. I always think my decks deserve better, but you know. Actually, that's not true. Not always. There are some decks where I'm like, this is a stinker, and I'm happy I got a couple of wins out of it. This one, I really thought we could have gotten our buy-in back. Maybe a no 2-drop on the play hand is so weak with Rakdos that we should have mulliganed that starter. I don't know. I'd have to go look at that. Maybe talk to some better players than myself about mulliganing a hand that has lands and spells, but doesn't really have the plan your aggro deck is looking for. So, yeah, we could have carnivaled the flyer, and I just felt like this was the longer problem, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think we were going to beat that Colossus anyway. Oh yeah, I'm wasting Oppo's time here. Well, let's make it. Let's make him activate. You know, we do have a play. You got it. Now you know we're dead. All right. Well, too bad. Too bad. We had a nice set of... we had a really good run going in events with getting buy-ins back at least for the free-to-play account. And unfortunately, our sweet run yesterday that I thought was on the free-to-play account turned out not to be. But we do get some packs out of this. And 800 isn't the actual worst.